got your token up there that says preparing and ready. That's just it's kind of like a Warcraft ready check. When you have got your character sheet all ready to go and you're ready to start play, you just move your token from preparing to ready, and that way I know it's time to start the adventure.
You did say it was okay, kind of use the D&D Beyond character sheet for that.
You don't have to keep track of your stats in Roll20 if you don't. There will be times where I'll ask you to like move this token around and do things, but yeah, you don't have to use the actual sheet that I have in Roll20. If you want to have a paper sheet in front of you and keep track of it that way, if you want to use D&D Beyond, that's fine. I'll be making my rolls here in chat like this. So you'll be seeing my rolls like that. You can certainly roll as well, or you can roll on your desk or whatever, but just let me know what the outcome is. And I'm a brutally honest GM. I will make almost all of my rolls public. So if something hits you and crits you for 60 damage, you'll know I'm not cheating, and that's tough luck to you. So
I'll be dead if that's the case.
I admit I don't have any dice anymore. My kids, when they were younger, lost all.
well, the nice thing is if you like pull up your character sheet, and I can see your character sheet too if I bring it up here. Like if you wanted to click on your Warhammer, you just click on this button and it rolls it like that. So what happens in 5e is you usually roll twice because this is what advantage and disadvantage is all about. So if you have advantage, you would take the higher number, which would be 23. If you have disadvantage, you would take the lower number, which is 18. If you don't have advantage or disadvantage, it's just a straight roll, we take the first number, which would be 18.
And now, how did you do that?
On your character sheet where it says, I wish I could ping on your character sheet, but you see there's attacks and spell casting. You have Cure Wounds, Healing Word, Warhammer One-Handed. Yeah, if you just click on Warhammer One-Handed, where you'll see it light up, it'll go from black to red. Just click on it and it'll do. You need to go to the core.
It's actually pretty nifty.
Yeah, I saw SSU use D&D Beyond, so I built my character there too, and then ported over most of my settings over into here.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
That was a nice site.
Yeah, no, it makes it easier for me to see it too. I don't know.
Me too.
I don't
Like,
know
what
why.
the hell am I doing?
So do you see what I'm talking about, Algrim?
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, there you go.
And you can do the exact same thing, like if you have to make a throw to save. So if you hover over where it says, what's it called, saving throws on the upper left, if you hover over each one of those, you can hit that, and that also makes it rolled in for you. Same thing with a check, which would be all the things listed as skills. So I can hit this, and that would be my roll if we had to make that check.
Now that one I don't see.
It's under your skills on the left-hand side. So like you have intimidation, medicine, those things, you just click that skill. Just, actually click the name.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Okay.
So yeah, if I say like make an insight check, you would just hover over insight until it's red and then click.
And fail like I did.
Sears dice are the opposite of loaded.
Blanks.
So the one thing you should probably know too is how to roll initiative. And so we'll just test this out right now. You'll see this box pop up on your screen, and that's called the turn order. And so what you do is you click on your actual token where it says RZEC, the thing that's on the screen. Yep.
I forgot.
So you make sure that that's highlighted.
We're already failing.
That's with a +4.
And then on your character sheet in the middle, it'll say initiative. And so you just click on the actual word initiative, and then it'll roll your initiative, and it'll put you up on the turn order.
Boom.
Just like that.
Oh, that's not good. Is that not?
And so the nice thing about the turn order is it lets me rearrange it like this. And so I would say, okay, Zir, you're up. And then Zir does his. And then I move it and I said, okay, Maraba, you're up. And then, go to the next person, go to the next person.
I
So
punched
that's
the
how we keep-
giant in the toe.
That's how we keep track of of combat. And then when combat's over, I clear it all out. And then you can just close the box.
Okay, good.
This may be a stupid question, but is there a way to make the tokens at the bottom smaller?
The tokens?
The
Like down things at the
yeah,
bottom. All
yeah,
all the
you-
Yeah,
way.
your avatar thing. Yeah, click on the scroll wheel, and then where you go, you'll scroll down there. The gear on the top of your chat bar, where it says player avatar size. Choose names only.
since there's no cam box, you don't need to have them anything but names only.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm old and blind, so it makes it hard to see.
And the name you guys have in the boxes is what your account name is on here, or what your display name is on here in settings as well. So if you wanted to change it to something different, you could.
Yeah, at the bottom of the chat box where it says "as," if you were to click on that, it'll bring up like your character name or something, and then you can choose something.
There's also in the settings, my settings at the top, there's display name. You can put what your actual
Yep.
name you want in there.
Yep.
Yeah, because nobody pronounces my first name correct anyway.
All right. Well, are we about ready to get started here then?
I'm scared.
All right. Well, to get started right away, once again, you now learned how to roll initiative. Let's all roll initiative again just to get started here.
Oh boy,
Going right into initiative.
that's more like it.
Oh.
You can also change your character name too if you don't want it to be what's showing up as your token.
All right. So we're going to do something a little different for the start of this campaign. I want to bring all of your characters together through a common NPC. So somebody that you all know and love, and we're going to create this person together. So everybody's going to get a say in who this person is and why they are important to your characters. So I'm going to move you to a new screen. And I've got a series of 10 questions, and you might want to zoom all the way out here. So I've got a series of 10 questions for you guys, and we're going to go in initiative. So it looks like Yennefer is up first. What humanoid race is this NPC?
Human.
Okay.
Well, that's boring.
Yep.
Wow, that did not go very big there. All right. Maraba. What? Oh, why did it not do this? What gender is this NPC?
Amorphous.
Gender fluid? All right.
Actually, can I revise that and we can say eunuch?
Sure. That's gonna make things a little interesting later, but sure.
I'm only doing this due to the boring answer on number one. But this is really your fault.
Is it EUNIC or EC? Whatever. It's a unique. All right, Algro. How old is this NPC? You don't have to give me like exact years, but like young adult, middle-aged, elderly, something like
Let's say 19.
that. All right, 19, young adult.
Poor guy, his best years were in front of.
Not
Especially
anymore.
if he's a eunuch now, yeah.
he's
Just-
ruined.
All right, Zir, what's this NPC's name?
Oh shit.
Peter?
Brazunt.
Brazunt. All right. All right, back to Yennefer. What does this NPC do for a living?
A bard. Even
All
better.
right. We got a eunuch bard, young adult bard. All right. Maraba. What's the name of this NPC's favorite tavern?
The Gilded Rooster.
See, I would have thought the Blue Oysters.
Not a cult.
All right. All right, Algrim. Let's see here. So this NPC cherished a rune-covered item. What was it?
Since he's a bard, let's say a lute.
All right, sounds good. A lute. Zir. This NPC had, the emphasis on had, a lover that you know about. Who are they?
Who was their lover?
The- Before they tragically became a eunuch, yes.
I can't think of anything funny to put in there. I can't. His 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 cousin.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Was it his
third
first cousin?
Third cousin at least.
Well, now we know why he's a eunuch.
The family found out.
Well, this is going to make the rest of the adventure very interesting. All right.
Is he from Alabama?
Yennefer. This NPC had a rival who cursed them. Who is this rival?
Are you streaming tonight, Darius?
No. We'll go with the cousin's other lover.
Is anyone streaming this tonight?
I'm
No.
recording.
So the cousin. Do we have a name for the cousins here?
Oh.
Well, we know. Actually, I guess we don't know.
Another variation of
Brajunt.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that should be the cousin for sure.
We're terrible.
God.
Should we make the rival a dun?
Uh, Darius, do we have a name for the cousin's other lover?
Um. Because I'm not following that naming pattern. We'll go with Agramund.
All right.
Is that a WoW character name?
Mm-mm.
I know that name from somewhere.
I literally just pulled out of my ass.
All right. And so finally, Maraba. Why did poor Brazunt get cursed
Because
by
he's
his
slept with
rival
his cousin.
Igramon?
Oh, man.
Was that a three-eyed child?
Really, that's the best trip, right? Is the other NPC, Curstar NPC, to be with and to take it one step further. That's also how he became the eunuch.
Hmm.
So, okay, so lovers quarrel.
Yeah.
Made the most convoluted way around that situation.
Lovers trying.
So I'm gonna guess you had 100 ideas of how this form got filled out. There, Caleb. Did it look just?
It certainly did not look like this at all. But that's fine.
The guy
So-
looks pretty good, though. I gotta say.
Well, it's I'm gonna grab your token. And it's not really gonna matter much anyways. It is a warm day in Waterdeep as you lay Brazunt to rest. Death came quickly. One day your friends simply began to waste away. No cleric or paladin could stop the curse from taking your cohort, and all attempts at raising them from the dead failed. You've seen many people gone before their time in your adventures, but this one seems to hurt the most for some reason. So, you stand before a small crowd gathered at a public cemetery. The cleric has finished the burial ceremony and has asked each of you now to step up and say a few words of how you knew Brazunt in life. So, if we, I can't remember who was at the top of the order, but
God damn it.
each of you want, yeah, tell us how was your character connected to Brazunt? We might as well go with Yennefer first. I think she was at the top.
Well, ran into him in a tavern playing. Found it actually quite a soothing melody and continued to follow his work. We hit it off as friends quite quickly. Through just different adventures and things along, I was able to at least inspire him in a bit of his muses as a music as he kind of traveled around. Kind of lost track of him for a little while until we heard about his illness and now his tragic passing.
And this is what brought you to Waterdeep?
Brought me back to Waterdeep. I'm from
Brought you
Waterdeep.
back. All right. All right. Well, Maraba, you want to go next?
He was a bard, right?
He was, yeah. Do you want me to go back to the thing?
No, I'm good. So make a comment how I traveled through here often, and I often stayed at the Gilded Rooster where he would often be performing. And always enjoyed the show. Uh, through many conversations there, he became kind of a trusted person in town that I could always talk to. Always a friendly face in the area.
All right, sounds good. Algrim, how did you know Brazant?
I knew him through my younger brother, who had made a pact with him, and my younger brother was killed. So now the pact falls to me, since I'm a dwarf and it's in my clan, and I met him that way. So I was brought here due to his untimely demise.
All right, sounds good. And Zier, how did you know Mr. Brazant?
I also slept with his cousin.
That okay? That's gonna
No,
get a
no.
little.
Uh, he was the first. He was the first person I met when I left the monastery, and helped me around town and led me to some great new specimens to study. Missed
I,
soothing songs.
I had to take my headphones off for a second. I put them back on just in time to hear Chris say he was my first.
He was my first cousin.
All right. So after each one of you steps up and says your eulogy about the deceased, the crowd finally starts to thin out. And as the mourners begin to head home after saying their goodbyes to your friend, a female half-orc, this individual down here, wearing glasses and an expensive suit, approaches. So all these people are gone now. And she comes up to you and says, "Ah, beautiful ceremony. It's clear that your friend meant a lot to you. I do not wish to intrude upon your mourning, but I feel I must introduce myself." And she hands you a rather expensive looking business card from the time. She says, "My name is Nora Redbones, and I am the executor of, what was it, Brazant's will? Brazant, what was the name?
Present.
What was Brazant, yes. And I am the executor of Brazant's will. And I have been given the task of conveying his final wishes. Meet me tonight it says name of the favorite tavern. Meet me tonight at the Gilded Rooster, and we shall discuss your endowment in private. And so with that, she turns, bows, and starts walking away.
And she was clearly talking to the group of us that were left.
Yes, she was clearly talking. She handed the card probably directly to the person in front, which was ours.
So I guess I will volunteer to lead all these people back to the Gilded Rooster since I'm the one that knows where.
All right, are you going to go there directly, or because she said later tonight, that's probably like early afternoon.
What else is along the way that I would know about if I guess I've got a little bit of knowledge of the town?
Well,
Sir-
you're in Waterdeep, and it's a fairly, well, it's actually a pretty big city. I think the webpage said it was
Is-
about 2 million people.
Is the big
So,
city.
Yeah, it's a big city. Lots of taverns, lots of. I mean, if you wanted to buy any equipment or do anything, if you just kind of want to chill out and wait until evening, that's fine too.
Or we can go get drunk.
So it'd be a good thing to do after a funeral. Go to a bar.
It's a shame I didn't get to study his corpse after he passed.
Are you going to go to the bar that she asked you to go to, the Gilded Lily, or to a different bar?
Maybe one along the way to start. If we have some options, make our way there later.
Yeah, sure. I think
I
don't
would
have
offer
anything.
to I guess take all these group with us since I know the area and know where we're ultimately
All right.
Way.
Let's.
before we depart, I do have to tell all of you one thing. None of you are currently or working for any sort of barbarian. I don't see any big axes.
Well, the clerics that the god I'm a part of, the clerics were known as barbarians. I read that today.
You're still a cleric though, so you're fine. If that's the case, everyone can come with me.
All right. Well, that's. How about okay? So you're walking along through Baldur's Gate, or not Baldur's Gate, Water's Deep, and yeah, you come across a tavern called the Frog's Fortune, and there is a big wooden sign out front that's shaped like a frog, and it's got gold coins. It's a magical cantrip, actually, and it's got these gold coins just spilling out of its mouth, falling down onto the street. As you walk under it, it's an illusion, but it's about mid-afternoon, so it's not quite a rowdy tavern, but there's a few people in there.
All right. So are we all going to the bar? Has that kind of been decided in?
It works for me.
I'll agree to come for now.
I don't have a picture of a bar, so I will have to. I've only got the other tavern, so this will be theater of the mind for the most part. Then, so all right. So you walk into the bar. There is probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 people in there. Most of them look like day laborers. There is one particularly uh, like rowdy looking group off in the corner that seems to be drinking quite a bit, spending some money, doing all that. Otherwise, it's kind of a typical, well, it's typical bar. So.
I would say we would grab a table for. Do we have probably 5? Because we're gonna, I guess, pretend we have Darbs here tonight. Is that the plan too? For how?
No, he's actually not here. That was a mistake on my. He's not.
Okay.
He wrote me. He's gonna write himself in later. So.
Okay. So I'd say we would grab a booth for 4, and I will order a beer.
I'm actually going to get up into the middle of the bar, pull
Okay.
out a flute, and actually start playing.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Make me a performance check.
Okay. Oh, there we go. That is a 22.
22. All right. Let me do a GM. All right. So yeah, you've managed to play your instrument, and you've dazzled and amazed the people around you. They actually, some of them start tossing you coins. So you've got 5 gold coins sitting at the bottom of your table there as you're playing and enthralling everyone. And while you're doing this, you actually notice that group of like ruffians in the corner. Uh, so they kind of look up at you, but there is this one lone woman that walks into the bar. So she saunters over to that group of men at the nearby table, scraping a chair along the floor as she walks. She sits behind one of the men who pointedly ignores her and continues to nonchalantly drink his ale. The whole tavern grows silent all of a sudden, and they are now watching the two. What do you do, Yen?
Oh, if nobody else is looking for a show anymore, then I'll take my seat. Thank you.
Yeah, it really seems like everybody was enthralled by you, but as soon as this girl walked in, like everybody kind of knew what was up and decided that they're going to pay attention over there. So if
Like,
you just kind of
grab
quietly
my-
stepped,
Yep, grab my
Did-
gold off
grab-
the table and
grab
then
your
go sit down.
gold. All right. So
Do I have any idea who she is if I've been in this town before with the bird?
she just looks like a farmer. Honestly, she's not. She doesn't. Actually, I hold on. I think I can show you a token of her. Maybe it'll. Did that pop up for you?
No.
No. Okay.
And I want to yell loudly for an ale because we've been sitting here and we haven't got anything to drink.
Did that pop up?
And I'm a dwarf and I need my ale. And no, it didn't pop up.
Yeah, I still don't see it.
Okay. Well then, how about I just do this?
And I guess as all this is going on, I'm gonna do a perception check and see do people seems like afraid of her or just like what the heck's going. It also just popped up.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I copied her token over to this table. It's not so much people are afraid of her. It's more of they're really interested in the drama that they expect to happen. So it's not like she's, knife wielding assassin or anything like that. It's kind of like if you know that, that married couple over there is always getting into fights, and if she comes in, she's making a scene is what she's doing. She's making a high school scene.
So I'm gonna chime in then after Arzik asked for the beer and said, "Can you guys get done with what you're doing?" Or yeah, bring us.
All right. Well, the barmaid sort of tentatively starts bringing your beer, your ales over, kind of quietly puts them down on the table, and then all of a sudden, this woman who stood right behind this guy starts yelling, "Where's my goats, Dave? You called off the wedding, so those goats go back to my family. I want them back." And Dave just takes a nervous gulp of his ale but says nothing. A few awkward moments later, the woman gets up, walks out, and shouts at the door, "Have it your way, Dave!" Dave makes an over-exaggerated, rude gesture at her, and the tavern erupts in laughter. I think I've got some tavern music here. All right, so when that woman leaves, they go back to their drinking. You guys get your ale at the table. A couple of let me make. Yeah, there's a couple of rowdy dwarves in the corner that start yelling back to Yennefer, "Play some more of that fancy music! Play, play!"
The next time one of the maids walks, I'm gonna send a beer to the guy that took the goats to pay for his next beer, but she has to tell him if you're stealing goats, somebody here thinks you probably can't pay for your beer.
Oh, okay. All right, all right.
I get back on another table and start playing again.
I wish I had just had a bar scene. I didn't expect you guys to go to a different bar, but that's all right.
We never meet expectations.
I was gonna say, you might as well just throw my adventure out the window 5 minutes into the games. That's fine. I can wing it. Okay, so you send the beer over to Dave's table there, and the waitress, whispers into his ear. He kind of looks up, looks over at you. Is your character?
I'm gonna raise my mug and give him a cheer.
Now, are you trying to intimidate him, or it was like a snide kind of compliment insult, wasn't it?
More of an insult than anything else, based upon my character's personality.
Why don't you just make me a charisma check? Okay. Yeah, so apparently he's not too bright because he looks over at you, smiles, raises his glass, and then the whole table kind of erupts and drinks it down. Either the waitress didn't get the message across, or he's just too dumb to figure out that you were kind of ribbing him. So
The village idiot, eh?
pretty much, yes. Okay, so anything else you wanted to do in here? You said you were continuing to play your lute.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if there's another bard in here.
It's a
There is
flute, not a lute.
Or your flute, yes. Okay, so now it's early afternoon, so there's really not too many more people in here. There's no competitor for you to go up against. So yeah, it goes on. Basically, you guys drink for about 15 or 20 minutes more. You have a round. Some of the dwarves throw Yennefer some more money. You make another 4 gold.
Not complain.
And then the tavern doors suddenly fly open as Dave's ex-fiancée rushes in, flanked by several rough-looking types. Amelia, that's her name, turns over Dave's table and lunges at him, crying, "Where are my goats?" And chaos breaks out as the patrons rise up to defend Dave, swinging wildly as the roughnecks and any other familiar foes. So there is a scrum that's happening. Big bar fight. So my first question is, are you guys going to get involved or not?
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
All
I
right.
want to throw my my empty beer stein at one of the ruffians that came.
Okay. Well, I've actually found this cool kind of barroom brawl rule set, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a handout. And did that pop up for everybody?
Yep.
All right. So basically, this is a barroom brawl. So what's going to happen is we're going to treat the brawl as a creature. So it's just one creature. It's got its own stat block. The way the fight's going to go down is that I'm going to attack everybody involved in the brawl first with an opposed skill check. If you win the skill check, you're fine. If you lose the skill check, you have to make a Constitution saving throw to avoid being knocked out. After that, then you guys get to take a turn, and you can use you can punch somebody, you can crash a chair over the top of their head. The more descriptive, the better. If you succeed, you do damage to the brawl. If you do an area of an attack, you do more damage to the brawl. And then if you fail, you don't do any damage. And before each one of your turns, you can roll a 1d20, and the object that comes up is right next to you during this brawl that you can use to do additional damage. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so
I do have a quick question though.
yep. What's that?
One of my attacks is unarmed strike. Does that count in this?
Yeah, you don't really need to worry too much about like actually making an attack roll here. This is more of going to be a descriptive combat kind of thing. So if you just say you punch somebody, don't worry about it. If you just say that you're going to smash a chair over the head of somebody, then I'm just going to have you like make a skill roll or something. It's, you know, you don't have to actually like, if you want to punch somebody, you can. If you can go ahead and do that, but we're not. This is not true D&D combat. This is kind of a quick barroom brawl combat. So it's like a cheating type combat. So
Okay.
all right. Okay, so let's see, Yennefer, what do you do as the bar erupts? You said you weren't going to get in this fight, so let me.
No.
How do you get out of this?
He just sandbags up against a wall in a corner and just continues drinking a wine. I am not getting involved in a petty ballroom brawl.
All right. So let's see. The first combat goes after Maraba. So the guy next to you grabs the trophy boar head off of the wall and tries to pummel you with it, Maraba. So that's going to be an athletics check. So are you going to avoid it? What are you going to do?
Oh, nope. I'm gonna make the check and try to go right back.
All right, so you make athletics, I make a strength. Ooh, we tie. So I'm gonna go tie goes the defender. So you just narrowly shrug off getting this this boar's head shoved over the top of your head. And so the boar's head falls to the floor. That'll be within your range on your turn. Let's see. Another guy grabs a cream pie off of a tray and tries to smash your face with it. So this will be a dexterity roll, so you can make me a acrobatics skill.
Who is this for?
That's for you.
Sorry, you can ignore my roll then.
Yep, so on your character sheet, if you just want to click acrobatics, or you can just roll what your skill. Ooh, 5. All right, so the guy with the cream pie smashes it into your face, and the cream pie had this this very hard metal bottom, maybe made out of lead. So it breaks your nose as it smashes into your face. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
I know how to do that.
On your character sheet on the left-hand side, it'll say like saving throws. It'll list all them. You just click on the name of
Also, just click on Constitution.
Not the skill, but the saving throw. So we're like below proficiency bonus.
That's it.
Okay, so you are able to. You don't take any damage. This is all like subdual damage. So what it means is that you don't get knocked out from that pie getting shoved in your face. And so now you've just got this pie, and your dwarven beard is all covered in foam and everything, and basically embarrassed you more than anything.
So do I get to make a turn, or is that?
Yeah, I gotta attack Zir first, and then you
Oh.
guys get to go. So, all right. So Zir, let's see. I said this was the Frog's Tavern. So, one of the other like tough-looking guys next to Dave, he grabs one of the decorative frogs off the wall and throws it at you like a shuriken. So this is going to be a dexterity against your acrobatic. Ooh, he rolled pretty high. All right, so
bonus nice to roll an 8. Oh, gee.
so this frog, this wooden frog from on the wall, smacks you in the face, hits you hard. Roll me a Constitution saving throw. And you make it. So one of your teeth gets knocked a little bit loose, but doesn't quite come out. And you manage. You're seeing stars for a little bit, but you're fine. So So there's really no need for initiative. You guys can just go down the line. Algrim, you said what do you want to do?
The guy that threw the pie at me, I want to smash him in the face with my empty.
All right, that's fine. So what you would do, let's see, is just that sounds like an athletics check to me. So if you're just going to smash him in the face, make another athletics check. (19) against his strength. All right, so and you got that guy critically failed. So you can describe to me how you what happens when you smash this beer over his face.
Good fail. Success on there.
I would say it breaks his nose, busts out a couple teeth, and he lays flat on the ground.
All right, so he gets knocked down.
Get him.
All right, Zir, what are you doing?
So I don't have to roll a dice. I can just do whatever I want, or
You can, if you want to know like what items are around you, you can just roll the 1d20 and it's on that chart. All right, so there is an empty mug next to you.
I'm gonna pick up the mug and I'm gonna throw it at the groin of the guy who hit me in the face with the front.
All right, sounds good. That sounds like a acrobatics because it's a ranged throw. So go ahead and make an acrobat.
A little better.
Okay. Well, you hit him. So yeah, the mug hits him square in the Henry and the Johnsons, and he like huddles over, screeches out in pain, and goes "mother," and falls on the floor. So more damage to the thing.
I hate to interrupt the flow, but I got one quick question.
Yep.
When it did the strength thing, it's got like 2 and then 21. What's the red 2? And I know the 21 is like a critical.
Yeah, the red means that you rolled a natural 1 on your d20 roll, and the green means you rolled a natural 20. So that's what we call a critical failure or a critical success. That's why they're colored that way.
All right, thank you.
All right, Maraba, you've got this boar's head laying at your feet. Otherwise, you can roll for a different item.
Is there a dwarf near me that's not like fully engaged in the act?
Sure, it's a brawl. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna yell at the dwarf to come over here and help me and see if he comes over.
You're gonna yell at the dwarf to come help you. Okay. Yeah, give me either an intimidation or a persuasion. Okay, yeah, that dwarf is intimidated or he's persuaded. He comes walking over to you or tries to make his way through the punches and the kicks. He gets next to you.
I'm gonna pick him up and throw him in the thick of where the guys were with the guy I sent the beer, just so he's in the thick of all that action.
So you're just gonna toss a dwarf, okay?
Oh, that poor bastard.
Then give me an athletics check to just toss him in the fray. Okay, let's see if you hit anybody. And you do. So you go dwarf bowling. You throw him up in the air, and he curls up in a ball, and he lands, and it's just this explosion of bodies. A couple of people will go down, and he continues to roll until he slams against the wall. Yennefer, do you want to do anything?
Oh, let's end this now. I take I look for a mug or a bottle or something nearby.
Yeah, there's plenty of those.
And I'm just gonna chuck it at the closest person to me.
Oh, so I like at them? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably a acrobatics or check, dexterity wise.
Oh, let's see. Acrobatics actually have. Oh, 23.
Got a 23. All right.
I like these dice. These are on fire tonight.
14. So yep, you throw you throw a bottle at the nearest person. It smashes, it breaks. There's wine all over him, wine all over the floor, and that guy goes down in a clump. All right. So with that, so that's the end of the round. But the bartender seems very annoyed and pissed off, and he puts his hands up to his mouth and he whistles very, very loudly. I can't do the whistle, but a woo, kind of whistle. And the kitchen door busts open, and the bartender says, "I've had enough of this shit. Release the Kraken! Get in here, Kraken!" And so this tiny little bald gnome comes running through from the outdoors of the kitchen, jumps up onto the bar, puts a set of brass knuckles on, jumps into the fray. And as you see this, the fight keeps going. Boom, boom, boom. You see these bodies just sort of go doomp, doomp, doomp in a row as the Kraken slowly comes towards your position. So the brawl's turn. Got a 1. So let's go back to Maraba. Another cream pie. One of the people picks up a cream pie, throws it at you from across the room. We're going to make a deck against your acrobatics. Just narrowly missing you, so the cream pie hits the wall. Yep. That's. And on, let's see, Zir, number 6 is a cloak. So one of the ruffians grabs another person's cloak that they're wearing and tries to wrap it over your head, tries to strangle you with it. So we're going to go ahead with an acrobatics check on this, dexterity.
Jeez.
13. So he manages to wrap it around your head. Make me a Constitution saving throw. And you make it. So you are hard, you're breathing hard, you're choking, but you haven't quite passed out yet. Algrim. Another cream pie comes flying at you from across the thing. So that's a dexterity acrobatics. And you easily duck it. And since Yennefer is in this now,
Oh boy.
we got a 2. Tavern specific items. So the Kraken busts out from the group, runs right towards Yennefer, gets up next to her, and simply bows because he's been cracking everybody else in the nuts. And so since she's a female, he just bows, attempts to kiss your hand, and moves on. So Yennefer, what are you up to?
This is back to what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
Well, he was just dumb enough to bow at me. I'm gonna take another bottle and I'm gonna smash it over his head.
Okay, so just to be clear, the Kraken was moving through the crowd and he was punching guys in the genitals. He was punching them in the nuts. And when he got to you, a female character,
Yep.
he chose not to. So but
Called
that's
weakness.
fine. All right. So you're just going to crack a bottle over the Kraken's head?
Yep.
Sounds good. If he's in melee, go ahead and make an athletics check then.
Oh, this is not gonna be as good. Nope, that was not good at all. That's a 2.
That's a 2 against the brawl. So now you swing at the Kraken. Let's see if he notices. Oh yeah, he noticed.
Whoops.
So now, so he looks up at you now, and you can guarantee he's gonna come at you next turn. So, all right, Algrim. I believe you had a pie thrown at you.
Yes. And it missed.
Yep. So
Um,
it's your turn.
Is Zir has somebody with a cloak over his head, right?
You're
Choking.
correct. Yep. Yep.
How do I make a roll to see what object I can use to hit him with? If the
You
guy that's
can
choking.
type slash roll space 1d20. Or you can on the side, on the left hand side. Okay, that works. So that is a tavern specific item. So the Kraken is near Yennefer. The Boar's Head is near Maraba. So I'm gonna say that there is a big old chair that's shaped like a frog because this was the Frog something tavern. So
Then I want to use the chair to smash over the guy's head that's choking Chris or Zir.
okay, sounds good. Make me an athletics check.
Can you say it one more time? Sorry.
Athletics check.
Sorry, my wife was talking to me.
Yep, no problems. All right, so 21 on that compared to their strength. All right, so you smash the chair over, it breaks into a million pieces. Zir is no longer choked. He comes out of it, and another guy goes down, and the brawl goes down. So the brawl's starting to thin out now, but there's still some people fighting. Marava, what do you?
Is the guy I sent the beer to earlier still up?
Yeah, actually, it looks like he's trying to creep towards the door.
Oh, I'm
Looks
going
like he's
straight.
trying to get out of this.
I'm going straight to him, and I'm not even gonna take the time to pick up something. I'm just gonna punch him.
Okay, so you're gonna have to move through the brawl to do this. So give me 2 athletics check. Okay, so you make the first one, you get through the brawl, and then as you like get to the other end where Dave's making his way out the door, you end up kind of tripping and stumbling, and when you come out, you are kind of off guard, and you're right in front of Dave, but you've like lost your balance. So any attack you make at him now would be at disadvantage.
That's fine. How do you want me to make the attack roll?
What are you doing to him?
I just punched him in the nose.
Then just make me another athletics check. Okay, 10 against Dave. And you punch Dave square in the nose, blood spurts everywhere. He drops like a ton of bricks, and as he drops, this very heavy coin pouch falls out of his shirt and sort of falls onto the floor with and gold starts to scatter everywhere, like probably 20, 30 coins scatters everywhere. Okay, so Dave goes down. The brawl's down to only 5 hit points. I'm going to say that kind of breaks up the brawl. So you've got most, Dave's lackeys are kind of like moving off to each other, and then you've got Amelia. She's kind of bloody and worn. She's looking over at where Dave is. What do you do, Morale?
I'm gonna tell her I think I found her ghost.
All right, so Amelia walks up to Dave, grabs him by the cuff of the shirt, and says, "Where's my goats, Dave? Where's my goats?" And Dave kind of looks down at the coins on the floor. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, just grab a beer that's not been thrown and just watch. I'm not getting in the middle of these two.
All right, so Dave kind of admits, I sold your goats. I sold your goats. Here's the money. Here's the coins. And he's, down on the ground, bloodied, beaten, scraping up the coins on the ground. Hands them over to Amelia. Once she has the gold coin curse, she kicks him one more time for good measure and kind of looks back at you, Maraba. She flips you a gold coin and says, "Thanks for the help." And then she walks out the door. So, So with that, the brawl is over. I just thought I would try that. That's kind of a different way to do the standard, like, brawl fight instead of people pulling out knives and daggers and stuff. And so I don't know. How'd you guys like that? Is that something you want me to continue doing, or?
The brawl was fun. That was good. I like the list of stuff that happened.
Yeah, it's much more of a traditional bar fight than what we've done in the past, right?
Yeah, it seems like when you guys get into bar fights in the past, it was I'm gonna kill this guy with my greatsword. So it's
Us?
my
No.
attempt to curb the Murdo hoboing.
You can only curb it for so long. Be honest.
These hands are registered weapons.
Okay, so let's see here. So yeah, the bar fight is done. People are packing up. Do you actually want to go to the Gilded Lily now, or did you want to go somewhere else?
You boys had your fun.
Was it the Gilded Lily? I thought it was a different name.
Gilded
You guys
Rooster.
are. I can't even remember what the name of this bar
Gilded
was.
Rooster.
The something frog. Oh yeah, the Gilded Rooster. Yeah. But yeah, you were supposed to meet Nora Redbones at the Gilded Rooster.
You're having your fun. I think we're somewhere we're supposed to actually be at this point.
Fine, Mom. I'll walk out the door.
Let's get to this meeting.
All right, so you go from one bar. It's probably early evening now. It's probably, I would say, 7 or 8 p.m. And you show up to the Gilded Rooster. I believe it was Maraba who came up with that name. So describe this bar to me.
Everything is like gaudy. So there is some gold in it, but everything's painted gold just to make it seem all gilded completely along the rest of the way. Since the bard was there, I'm gonna say they've got a pretty nice performing stage, kind of more than what your typical bar would have, and a very well stocked wine and beer section, more than other places in town.
Okay, I may have to adjust the map a bit, but we'll go ahead and do that. Here's an actual tavern.
Yay!
So as you're walking up to the Gilded, what did you call it? The Gilded Rooster. Yeah, you do see this very sort of gaudy entranceway right there. Also on the side of the building, there is an adventurer's placard, so you can. There's job postings there, and yeah, the light is kind of coming out through these two windows. It seems like a fairly decent establishment compared to the establishment that you were in. And it's starting to, there's sounds of laughter and drinking come from there, but it's, you don't believe that walking into this bar is you're in any danger kind of thing.
We've all played WoW for too long, Caleb. If there's not a yellow exclamation point on it, we will
What's this?
All right, so if you go look at the placard on the board. So on the board, there's really only one posting that's, because they're dated, there's really only one posting that's anywhere near being recent. And this one was posted within the last week. And it says that High Steward Lady Verosa Nandar from Nightstone is seeking adventurers to help clear her ancestral lands of a goblin threat. Those adventurers who are interested should seek the lady out in the town of Nightstone.
I scream, we have to take this because goblins killed my brother.
Okay. And let me reveal the bar. All right, so as you walk in, this will just say, I'm going to draw on the map here. We're gonna say that this area up here is the fancy stage that Marava talked about. And otherwise, it's exactly as he said. The barkeep actually, as you walk in, he kind of waves at you like he knows you, and you guys have never seen this guy before in your life, but he waves you over and says, we're expecting you. Come in, come in, come in." All right, so he says, "Yeah, what'll you have? Nora's expecting you. She's off in one of the private rooms, but she's with another client at the moment. She's been having meetings all night, but she told me specifically that when you guys in to give you whatever you wanted to drink as you wait. What do you have?"
So I would say after the previous bar fight and then the kind of heaviness of the funeral and everything, I would order the best beer I could possibly.
Okay, yep, they've got something from Baldur's Gate imported, so yep, you can definitely have that. Actually, no, they've got a special import from Chult. This honey mead is what they have, actually.
Edge.
Tej, yes.
I want
Um,
the strongest dwarven ale they have.
Okay, yeah, he pours you a fire brandy, and it says that's straight from I can't remember my Forgotten Realms lore, but that's straight from the northern mountains. I can't remember what that guy's name is. Brunnigan or something like that. All right. So yeah, this place is pretty lively, and you guys get your drinks, and you wait in the tavern, sipping your free ale and drinks, and listening to the Tabaxi Bard. There is this sort of cat-like bard up on the stage, straight from Chult. That's what he looks like, and he is playing a lovely melody on his lute, and so as you're listening to this Tabaxi minstrel, you wait for nearly about a half an hour, and it's quite a long wait. But eventually, and let me put this on. Eventually, out of this room over here, steps the let's see, what was her name? Agramund. No, not Brajunt. The Brajunt, the lover.
a cousin.
The cousin lover. She looks gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful. She just has the unfortunate name of Brajunt.
The family name.
Yeah, it's a family name. So, uh, a frustrated-looking Brajunt exits in a huff. As she walks past your table, you hear her muttering to herself, "I loved." What was the guy's name? Brajunk?
Brazunt.
Brazunt. "I loved Brazunk for nearly a decade, and this is the thanks that I get? 10 gold coins and a fishing boat I could care less about? Well, we'll see about that, that ungrateful." And then she's just muttering to herself as she's kind of crying and walking out the door.
That means they started at 9 if you're keeping score at home, ladies and
Oh, no. Young love.
Well, at least he started at 9.
Maybe she's an older woman. Oh no.
maybe she was the aunt.
Stop it.
We already said she was a cousin.
Maybe
You
she was
got-
his teacher.
And I was hoping this was going to be different.
Nope.
Oh no.
All right, so as she leaves the bar, you see Nora Redbones come out of the. She motions for you guys to come meet her in the private room off to the back So yeah, I'll just move your characters there. All right, so she closes the door, she takes a seat, and she unfurls a massive looking scroll, and a couple of keys clank on the table. And she says, I have a lot of uncomfortable meetings tonight to attend to, so I will make this quick. Brajunk, what's his name again? Brajunk? Brajunk?
Zunt. Brazunt.
Brazunt. Brazunt knew the curse was going to end their life, and he made some last minute changes that came to a surprise to many. For you all, Brazunt has left you the deed to his home here in Waterdeep. It wasn't so much a home as it was a research workshop, but nonetheless it's yours. Here is the deed, here is the key to the house, and here is the key to the cellar. It says here that your birthday gifts are there.
I'm gonna ask how Brajunt took that.
How the cousin took the news.
Yes.
She pushes her spectacles back up her nose a little bit and says, well, I'm not at liberty to talk about my other clients, but she wasn't very discreet as she exited, so as you probably saw, she was not too upset, or she was quite upset about not being given the house. But I don't think you need to worry about her. I mean,
Fair enough. It looks like Algrim just dropped off.
off Discord.
Yeah, he went to his phone too, so I wonder if his computer didn't just.
Do you want to give him a minute, or? Oh,
Yeah,
there he is.
He's back.
Yeah, sorry, my router rebooted.
Always a good
No
time.
worries, no worries. So yeah, Maraba just basically asked how the cousin took the news, and obviously she wasn't too pleased about not receiving the house and the will, and you guys now have the house.
Is she the owner of this place, or are we just like using this as like a meeting room?
This is just a meeting room. Yeah,
Okay.
this was Brazunt's favorite tavern, and so she's trying to honor his memory by coming here, and
Got
she
it.
just got a private room. Do you have any other questions for Nora?
Where is the house? What ward is that?
The Copper Ward, unfortunately, it's. I don't know why the cousin. I'm just gonna say the cousin because I get all these Brazunt's names confused. I don't know why she was all upset about it. It's not a very nice house, to be honest. It's just a meager like 3-room home, but it is what it is, you know.
You had mentioned research. Do you know what he was working on? Because none of us
He
have it.
Well, I believe if you, and she slides the key to the cellar across the table towards you. She goes, I believe if you were to check his cellar, you might be able to find that out for yourself.
Fair enough.
We will.
Always good for a good mystery.
All right. Anything else?
The only thing I want to do is on the way out ask the guy behind the bar if he knows anything about the, as I'm going to call it, quest that was on the board.
Ah,
About,
yes,
about, yeah, about who may have put it up or if he knows anything about it.
Yeah, it was. It's put up by basically the big adventurers group in town, which is the Grey Hands, and it's kind of like an adventurers guild, but they're like a famous group of adventurers. And the what it is that Lady Velrosa is a Waterdeep noble. She owns land at this little town about 30 miles south of Waterdeep, called Nightstone. Nightstone is basically this sort of lumbering and agricultural village. She maintains a Motte and Bailey castle there, and then there's a small key or a small town there. It's the forest there has been known to be the home of elves, but lately, it's apparently this goblin clan moved into the area and has been causing trouble for them, and she's looking for somebody to go clear out that goblin clan.
And what was your backstory, Algrim, with the goblin?
Oh, some goblins killed my brother. Well, killed my brother and my whole um, military troop, except
All right, so kind of as we're standing here, I'll at least confirm with Algrim that I would go with him to that because I'm always up for a good bit of revenge back on.
That'll always make for a good story, so if we end up going that direction, I'll tag along.
Yep, and I can show you guys a map of the area.
while you're doing the map, I have a quick question too.
Yep.
One of the things I used was history and medicine. Is history usable in anything like knowing the history of the nobles or
Yeah, sure. If you want, what are you trying to find out?
like history about the woman who posted the thing to see if it's valid or
Oh, okay. Yep.
maybe a trick or
Yep. Go ahead and just click that skill then, make that history. Okay, so you got an average roll. Yeah, you've definitely heard the name before, Lady Velrosa. It's like the name Kennedy or something like that. It's definitely a well-known noble name. Most nobles not only have houses in the city, but they also own lands all around the area of Waterdeep, and that's how they get their income. And so, you don't think that it's a trick. You know that the Velrosas are attached to the city or the town of Nightstone. You know that they make their money from lumbering and farming. It seems on the up and up. It doesn't seem like a shady deal or anything. It seems like something that they would ask. They've been known to hire mercenaries in the past to, quell disputes and things like that. So,
Hmm.
this might be another stupid question, but when it comes to medicine, can someone explain, like maybe after this is done,
Understanding
explain?
how somebody died or their injuries or how to heal them, you can also use it to stabilize people.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
so yeah, if you were to find a body and, I say, hey, there's a dead person on the ground, and you could say, oh, I'm going to make a medicine check, and then I could tell you, like, it might be obviously that they were stabbed, but I could tell you, hey, they were stabbed with a short sword, or there was a poison on the blade, or something like that. All right. Any other questions for Miss Nora Redbones?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right.
Let's kill goblins.
Well, let's
We're
go. Let's go
experimenting.
look at the house first,
Yeah,
Ooh, treasure.
it is late. How far away would the house be?
Oh, maybe like a 20-minute walk. You'd probably get there by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
I'd say it's probably worth going anyway, since the one cousin is pissed, just to make sure nothing shady's going on.
Make sure they don't burn it down.
All right. So you're gonna go to the house.
Yes.
Okay. So again, this is one where I don't have a map for. It's just sort of theater of the mind. So you walk down to the Copper District. You're down sort of these, low, not really slums, but just sort of, low income kind of housing, a lot of houses kind of cramped together, and a lot of families living in one place, and not necessarily a dangerous district, just a lot of just like commoners, laborers, things like that. You're not going to find many merchants or anything that live here. So you come up to the house, and it is exactly as Nora described it. It's this squat, kind of rundown, two-story, very, very small house. It looks like maybe a one-bedroom house from the outside. No lights are on. There's some people sort of milling about, some drunkards and some homeless people on the street, but the house itself is completely dark and quiet.
I know I lost internet for a minute, but did we get a key to the house or
Yes.
anything to be able to get in?
You got both a key to the house and a key to the cellar. You also have a deed to this house, but looking at it now, if somebody wants to make an appraisal, is that a skill? Or is that a 3?
That's not a skill. No.
Hmm.
It's not a skill. Let me look at the skill. Somebody wants to make me a insight check.
Hey, there you go.
All right. So, yeah, Algrim, you look at the house and you value it. This area, with the crime and all that stuff, you probably wouldn't get more than maybe 100 or 200 gold for this, if that's even if you could sell it.
I say we go in and see what's going on in the cellar.
That's where we were told to go. So
All right, so you walk up the stone steps. You walk up. It's a wooden door. It doesn't look very strong at all, but as you try it, it is locked. If you try the key on the door, it opens right up. So it opens up, and it is a very small house. As soon as you walk in the door, there is a stairwell going upstairs. So, like right on your right, on the right-hand wall, there is a wooden stairwell, kind of rickety wooden stairwell that walks up to the second floor. To your left, there is immediately a doorway and a kind of an open living area. And then in between the two, there is a short hallway that leads back to a small kitchen area.
Should we search the house before we go downstairs? See if there's anything valuable in it?
You certainly can. Yep.
Would not hurt.
Well, I say I go upstairs to search the upstairs.
Okay, so as you walk up the stairs, you come to a small landing at the top of the stairs, in front of a window, and there's two overstuffed chairs that look out over the window. And then there's basically just a small hallway coming back the way, like as you walk up the stairs, the hallway goes back towards the front of the house. And then there's one door there, and you would assume that that leads to like a bedroom of some type, but the door is closed.
we'll open it up. Look.
I'd like to listen to the door before I open it, though, to see if anything's inside.
Okay, make me a perception check.
I clicked the wrong one.
Yeah, it's persuasion. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Perception 20. Okay, so yeah, as you listen at the door, you actually hear quiet whispers coming from at least 2, maybe 3 individuals in that room.
Uh-oh.
See, it pays off that I'm paranoid. I say we prepare for combat and get ready to kick the door in.
This is our house.
All right, so what are you? The 3 of you are still downstairs, though. He's the one who went upstairs. Do you want to warn them or anything? They wouldn't be aware that you've heard this. Those of you on first floor, you said you were kind of looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the living room just has a couple of pieces of kind of old tarnished furniture. There is a small table there that looks like it's used as both a dining table and as like a workspace. There's a couple of pieces of parchment on it, as well as some used dinner plates on there. There's a fireplace there. Otherwise, it's pretty nondescript. There's not really much for decoration. The back kitchen, there is a back door to the place, and if you can look out the window, you see there is a small little yard there, stoned off backyard, and about maybe 20 paces from the house, there's a small stone outhouse out the back. But the kitchen itself has the normal cutlery and some food wares and a small cooking stove. But you don't really see like a trapdoor to a cellar or anything.
While they're moving around downstairs, I gotta take a really quick AFK. I'll be
Yep.
Are there any like large rugs or anything?
There is a large rug in the common area of the living room. Yep.
I'm gonna take a look under that.
Okay, so you pull it away, and there is a small. There's like a loose floorboard that's like kind of sticking up a little bit, but that's about all you see.
Would I have
Yeah.
any idea it was like loose on purpose, or is it like so clearly plain in sight that it just looks completely normal?
No, I mean it's pretty obvious that it's out of place when you pull it up, like almost like a little secret compartment that somebody like very hurriedly tried to put back into place and didn't quite get it to fit in place. And while you're in that spot, make anybody who's in that common room area can also make a perception check.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay. So,
Uh,
yep. Zir and Maraba,
12.
as you guys are rolling up the carpet and kind of looking at this thing on the floor, you do hear a creak from the ceiling right above you. So it sounds like somebody's upstairs.
We have guests.
I'm gonna start moving upstairs quietly.
do you want them to take a nap before they before we deal with anything on them? I can always try and put them to sleep.
That's up to you guys, I guess.
I can always question them after that, tie them up.
I'm gonna look at him and go, "One chance with your magic, then I."
Fine,
Yeah, if his
fine,
magic
fine.
doesn't work, I want to bust the door in and be ready with mason sheet or warhammer.
Okay, so are the three of you then going upstairs?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, make me a group stealth roll. So one of you choose
Let
to
me
make
do
a.
that. Oh yeah!
There's the crit.
As the in the background, the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies music starts to play. Ding 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 ding. As they nimbly climb the stairs, and so yeah, you guys are all in the small little hallway outside of the bedroom, and yeah, you're right at the door, so you guys are all right there.
I'm
The
just going to point at Yin and hold up the one sign, and then just kind of fake tap.
Fine, I'll cast and run if that makes you feel better. All right. So I will slightly open the door quietly and immediately cast sleep on them. The room.
Okay, make your sleep spell.
A good start. Wow, that's not great. That's only 19 hit points worth of creatures.
Okay, so the rest of you here, Yennefer kind of opens up the door just a crack, says some arcane words, and then like backs away from the door. You hear one body thump to the ground, and then you hear a woman's voice sort of gasp and goes, "What happened? What happened?" And then you hear blades being drawn.
Kicking the door open.
Kick that some bitch open.
All right, so if you kick in the door, we'll just go ahead and go initiative.
God.
This one is asleep, but there is these two.
That's the cousin, isn't it?
Well, it looks like it.
Why didn't my roll show up?
You had to click on the token. And then click
Yeah, I can
initiative.
add you manually, no worries.
Yeah, well, I only rolled a 7. Sorry, I forgot about clicking on the token.
Takes practice. No big deal.
Yeah, Ned. Zir forgets it all the time. So-
Hey, I haven't forgotten it yet.
all right, well, Yennefer, you're up again. So you hear blades being drawn. You hear a body slump to the floor. You did see at least two other people moving in that room.
Okay. I'll turn back around since I know the door has been kicked open. Can I see them from the stairs?
Yeah, you can definitely. Maraba kicked open the door. Combat started.
All right,
Yeah, you can see.
So I will I'm gonna save this spell slot. I'm just going to Eldritch Blast the other guy.
Okay.
So we're just gonna fire a bolt of force right at him. No, maybe not. That's only a 10. Never mind.
Let's see what the AC is.
I can't imagine it's a 10.
Yeah, no, does not hit.
All right, boys, you're up.
So let's see the other guy. So this Eldritch Blast comes flying into the room. It like whizzes right by this guy's ear. So he turns back to you, looks right at you, and let's see, is this a touch spell? It is. Okay. So he bolts to the doorway and makes a lunge at you, Yennefer. Tries to touch you with an inflict wound spell. Oh my god!
Enjoy
What?
your nap.
Wow. So Yennefer gets, you just see her skin and face suddenly shrink and become emaciated, and her skin goes black.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
You're really?
Yes, I am not dead. I rolled max on my hit points, so that's the only reason I'm even alive at this moment.
All right. Well, she looks pretty worse for wear.
Jesus. 3 more points, I would have been dead.
You don't look so good.
Zir.
Well,
Wow.
I have to go after Crazy Guy here.
God, she didn't even roll that great on the base damage rolls. The set.
Yeah, I said if it had been 3 more hit points, I would have been dead.
All right.
So
So
move
yeah,
here for advantage, I guess, behind him.
you can't say that after your roll.
Well, all right, for the first one, all right.
Okay. So your 8 misses.
Well,
And I get
have
a
a question.
bonus.
Yep. Go ahead.
I have an ability, that ability that hang on, never mind. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna use my second attack, my bonus attack for martial arts. There we go.
That hits. Yep.
And do I want to spend a key? Because this guy just destroyed Yen.
The answer is yes.
Yes, I'm gonna spend a key. Use fury blows. Fury blows. Fury blows.
Okay. 15 hits. Yep.
That's it for me.
For another 8. Okay. So that guy looks bloodied. So, Algrim, what bloodied means is when you see the red dot on them, it means that they are below half of their maximum hit points. So it's just kind of a combat condition to say you can tell this guy's been taking a lot of hits and he's worse for wear than somebody who's kind of fresh to the fight. Maraba.
Yeah, so I'm assisting Zir for advantage if he kind of went in, so he.
Yes, now you can step up and flank with Zir.
Yeah. I'm not even trying to do non-lethal damage at this point. I'm trying to actually kill this guy based upon what he
Okay.
did to Yennefer in one touch.
Yep.
So swing of the glaive to start.
22 will hit for 6.
I'll do the glaive butt through polearm mastery. So
Okay.
14 for
14 will hit, and with that, you drive your butt home through his face, and you hear a crunch, and you, for a second, you could swear you see like brains come squeezing out of the nose and the ears, and this guy drops dead.
And then how far away is the girl and from me at this point?
She's in the room, so she was at the back of that room. I would say maybe 20 feet away.
Okay, so I just want to kind of step in the room, not get all the way. And does she look like scared to death at this point? Like she just saw somebody's brains go out? That's terrible to her, or is she
Uh,
like super pissed, like ready to fight?
Actually, she sneers at you. She's holding a hand crossbow and she pulls out a short sword.
Oh.
Uh, you said she was 20 feet away from.
Yep.
Then in that case, I'm going to walk to her and I'm going to use my action surge and take an attack at her, and not
Okay.
stand back and give her a chance.
Okay.
So I'll take my action surge out and swing my glaive again. And miss.
And miss. Yep. All right. So it's her turn. I am going to make a wisdom check for her. Okay, so she just thinks her other companion is dead. She doesn't think that he's sleeping.
I was gonna say, please
So-
don't roll high.
Yep.
I knew where you were going
So-
with that.
Yep. So she's actually gonna fire her because you're 10 feet away with that pole arm, right?
Yes.
Yep. So she's gonna fire her hand crossbow at you first, hitting.
Jesus Christ.
And then she is going to, let's see here, for her.
This
She's
is
going
just
to-
totally random, but it should be set up in Roll20. If you get natural 20s on both of your rolls, you actually get 3 dice rolls. So you get an extra.
Yep. So she's actually going to go ahead and make a. She's going to try to jump out the window, like break the window, like jump out of it. 10, yeah, that's probably good enough. So she jumps out the window, crash, and falls down to the street below, but that's her movement. So she's just on the street. Arzik.
How far away is she?
Well, it would be 20 feet into the room, and then she would be another 20 feet down. Like that.
You may want to consider picking up Yennefer before we start chasing her too.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or I was gonna cast Toll of the Dead on. Let me use am, I'm standing next to Jennifer, right?
Yeah, you're in the like this room here outside of the doorway.
Then I'll use Cure Wounds on
Okay. So you can just roll your hit points then. So you move up to her, you touch her, you say your clerical blessing. If you want to do it in roll 20, all you got to do is click the Cure Wounds button on your front page. Or you can just manually roll the dice or whatever.
You can click it on spells too. Click the
Yeah.
name.
Or on the back page, you can also click on spells. Yeah.
All right, now it's just asked me cast at what level, 1 or 2.
Yeah, just hit 1 because you're casting it at level 1. So I would just say yes. So what that means is, for example, like Cure Wounds, if you had access to like 3rd level spells, instead of casting a 3rd level spell, you could cast a 1st level spell at 3rd level, and it means like your hit points go up, or the dice roll. Like for this one, you rolled 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. For level 2, it would be 2d8. For level 3, it would be 3d8. So it gets more utility out of it, is what it is in 5e.
So it means like I have a on D&D Beyond it says 1 with the 1d8 plus 4, so that means I only rolled a 2, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what happened. You rolled
Okay.
a 2 plus 4. So
Yeah, if you mouse
Yennefer
over your
gets-
number, you can see what your rolls were.
Yep. So,
Say
but
that again?
if you move your mouse icon over the 6 on the chat, if you just hover over it, don't click or anything, it'll bring up an extra box that says rolling 1d8 plus 4. And then it says equal 2 in parentheses. That 2 is your 1d8 roll.
All right, appreciate it. I see it. Thank
Yep.
you.
All right, so yeah, you heal Yennefer for 6 hit points, so she gets a little bit of color back to her face.
Ugh.
And her eyes pop open, and it's her turn.
Oh, what the hell hit me? Oh, that.
The guy laying it
Yeah.
on the floor.
With the
How-
brains. Yeah.
I don't see her in the. Where'd she go?
And you guys can talk as free actions. So
Well, we tell him that she jumped out the window.
So I'm gonna run up to the window. Can I see her out there?
yeah, you're only about 25
I
feet away
cast-
from where you're standing.
I cast sleep
So
on her.
yeah, you can. Okay, make another.
I'm just
sleep
gonna do this one
roll.
in here, just to make it easier. Damn.
Oh wow. Okay, so she falls down asleep in the middle of the street.
Get her back in here. Tie her up.
She
I'm gonna tie
just-
this guy.
Yeah, she just slumps down to the ground.
Good work, spellcaster.
We're in Waterdeep. They can be prosecuted for trespassing.
All right, so I'm gonna take us out of combat then, since you got 2 people asleep. So
Which is good considering your crit attack rolls. 2 of the 3 times you did attack rolls, you rolled.
yeah, I thought I damn near killed Yen.
You
Wow.
did. I had 3 hit points. If you had done 3 more hit points of damage, I was dead.
I thought she was dead. Like if we were starting at level 1, she would have been dead.
Oh yeah.
for sure.
But I also at level 2 I rolled max on my hit point die, and so I have 18 hit points. So my max basically you'd have to go hit me for 36 to kill me, and that was 33.
So yeah, you were at 0. But yeah, I didn't double it, so okay.
Yeah, if you had doubled, I was done.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so yeah, you guys are on the second floor. You can walk out and grab her and pull her into the house if you want. You've got this dead cult fanatic here, and you've got this guy sleeping in the other room.
Tie him up and
I'm checking out the corpse of the dead guy.
I'll tie him up and then remove all them anything of use off of each of them.
Okay, so as you go to check the dead one, a tiny snake slithers out of a bag and sort of like coils around the floor, like just like a little garter snake almost. Coils around the floor for a little bit, and as you're staring at it, like what the hell is that? All of a sudden, wings flap out. It was hiding in the colors of its scales, and it pops out two little tiny wings, and it starts fluttering, and the snake actually flies, and it hovers up about 5 feet. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to grab it.
Okay, and just make me a dexterity check. Okay, yeah, you grab a hold of it, and it's squirming and wriggling, but you got it held pretty tight.
How large is it?
It's a small, I mean, it's tiny. It's a tiny creature. It's probably no more than maybe 6 or 8 inches.
Okay, can we get something to put it in so we're not risking one, it flying away, or two?
Sure.
Can
There's a chamber pot in the bedroom. So,
that works for now.
okay, you slam it in the chamber pot and put a lid on it. So you hear it kind of fluttering around and flapping in there, kind of like when you capture a bug underneath a glass or something, but doesn't do anything other than that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's got, he's wearing leather armor. He's got a dagger. He's got some spell components on him, so it looked like this guy was a magic user.
I'm going to take those components and stick them in my component pouch.
Okay. And he had, let's see, 42. He had 14 silver on him. That's the dead one.
Did we brought her in and tied the other two?
Yes.
And we're going to rifle through their stuff too as they're...
Okay, so the sleeping one, again, he's also got 14 silver on him. And you find another one of those little snakes as well as some spell components. And he's got leather armor and looks like a dagger as well. And she has, she's not wearing any armor, but she's got that short sword. She's got a hand crossbow with 7 bolts, and she doesn't have a. She has even less. She's got 14 copper on her, but she does have a blank piece of parchment.
Do we need a group notes page to track all this, Caleb, or will you get it that?
Well, I can set that up for you if you want right now. I'll just put under player characters. Let's see, add handout. Okay, you should be able to edit that if you want, or you can keep track of it on your sheets or whatever.
Can
Or
we
as
do like a
loot stuff,
perception
it's...
check on that piece of paper?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception. Actually, make an investigation check. Well, I'll take the perception. It's fine. Yeah, it looks like high quality parchment. She looks like kind of a commoner. It doesn't really look like something that a commoner would have on them, but it is completely blank. There's no writing, there's no etching, there's no watermarks, nothing at all.
I'm just wondering if there's some kind of invisible ink on it or magic ink. You know,
Well,
like
you
they
can
used to do
make
with-
an Arcana check if you're looking for something magical.
That'd have to be Yen to do that.
Want me to look at that? I'll take a look. Arcana. Not my best, but oh well, that's a 13.
That's actually good enough. So you turn the paper over in your hands a little bit, and you don't see anything, but you can feel along it that there is some sort of like magical aura. And if you trace your finger on it, it is a design. Make me an intelligence.
Just straight intelligence.
Yep.
13.
Yep, you immediately recognize the design that's on this paper in that was put on, the aura, the magical, as the mark of the Zentarum.
Ah, great. The Zens are involved. That's just what we need.
And for those of you who don't know, the Zents, that it's a faction that's I don't really want to call them mafia, but they have like a dark trade network. They're really in it for themselves. They basically do what's best for them to kind of make money and power and influence. They can be corrupt. They cannot. They kind of do what's best for them. So with this one, it might be illegal. It might not. They're kind of a shady organization.
Yep.
So the one thing I'm going to do while all of this is going on is make sure they're both bound very well, and since they're both clearly magic users too, I'm going to get something to stuff in their mouth so they can't do any audible spells if they.
Okay, yeah, you can find some socks in a drawer and you know uh, tie rope around them and stuff. And so,
Do
so
we
yeah,
even
you've
need
got.
the other minion alive?
I
I'm
think
not
we
gonna
keep them in
just.
separate rooms, and that way we can see if their stories are the same.
Okay, so you're gonna pull this one like out to this room.
Yeah.
Oh, we could leave him in the room. When the girl, we just pulled her into the living room.
Oh, okay,
downstairs.
yeah. So
Yep.
you just pulled her downstairs, and so she's down in the living room. You got this guy upstairs, and then after a while, or when Yen's spell wears off, they finally come to.
How long would that be?
I think it's an
Is-
hour. Let me check.
Though you can just shake.
Yeah,
them
you
and
can
wake
just
them
shake
up.
them. Or no, it only lasts for a
Okay.
minute, so it's not long at all. It's
Okay.
long enough to get them in tied up, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind my next thing.
Okay, so they're both now tied up and restrained, and they've got gags in their mouth and clearly awake.
Do we want to start with the minion, or do we want to start with the main?
Let's just start with the woman. We can slap her around and ask her some questions.
Okay.
Try
I'm
to
gonna go.
intimidate and try to intimidate her.
So I'm gonna go upstairs then, so the guy that's upstairs is not left by himself. I'm gonna go watch him while they're questioning the girl down.
Okay, so you go upstairs, and then everybody else is down talking to. Okay, so like, what are you gonna ask her? Are you gonna ungag her? What are you? She's kind of squirming back and forth, but it's she's clearly not strong enough to like break her bonds or anything.
First question is, we want to know what she was looking for.
Mmm.
Well, you take the gag out of her mouth and then
Take
ask
the
her what
gag
she's
out of
looking
her
for.
mouth. Okay. So I was just looking for what was owed to me. Brajunk left you the houses and he didn't give me anything. I was just looking. I was with him for 10 years. I should get more than 10 gold pieces.
What you think you deserve and what you actually get are totally different things. Obviously, he didn't feel the same way.
He was a fool, anyways. Bards don't make any money.
I don't know. Who was the bigger fool in this situation?
Looks
She
to me
just,
you're.
she just
tied up.
gives you this just evil look and sort of scowls at you. Bitch.
And I slap her.
Okay, whack. So that kind of takes the smile off her face.
Well, let's try this again. What were you looking for?
Are you trying to intimidate her or?
Yeah,
Okay, make an intimidation.
that is a 19.
Okay. I was looking for his secret research lab, if you must know. Apparently, it was under my nose the whole time.
You could say that.
Oh, clearly, it's not here. We've searched this house top to bottom. I lived here for 10 years. How could it not be here? It's not here. I received bad information.
Information from whom?
So with that, she kind of realizes that she maybe have said too much, and she goes, "Nothing."
I slap her again. From whom?
Make another intimidation at advantage.
That's a 21.
It was a snail. Snail. I'm in debt to Snail, and he wanted me to search the house.
Who is Snail?
Snail runs the books out of Daggerford.
I want to ask her what Snail wanted from here.
It was Snail usually just wants like gold or gems or jewelry, but he was asking for like notes with weird runic symbols on them, or any stones with weird runic symbols on them. I've never seen anything like that except for maybe what the and I got to go back to the end what you guys said. The the only thing that I've ever seen that has a rune on it was Brazunt's lute. That was his cherished item. Um, Otherwise, I've never seen anything in this house that had runes on it. Snail thinks they're probably magical.
Runes, duh.
Well, clearly they weren't for decoration. He played that damn lute all the time. Never made him any money.
I say we put the gag back in our mouth and someone stays down here and we go upstairs and talk to the other.
Okay. All right, so you regag her, and then you go upstairs, and that guy is clearly tied up, and Maraba's trying to intimidate him by looking all imposing.
Can we ungag him and ask him where's Snail?
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna go downstairs and relieve Ian at this point. I'm gonna kind of be the muscle. I want a magic user up here with him since he's very magical in some nature, right?
All right. Um. Yeah. Okay. So you take the gag out of his mouth, and when you mention the name Snail, you do see his eyes kind of like light up a little bit. But what did you ask?
Where
Like
can
how?
we find Snail?
Go look in your garden, fool.
Well, since Yin got to slap the woman, I want to slap him.
Okay. All right. So you smack him. Make an intimidation check. All right.
Oh,
He smiles and sort of spits blood on the floor and says, "That all you got?"
Maybe it's somebody else's turn to hit him.
I can help with the intimidation, and I start crackling a Eldritch Blast in my hands.
Okay, so you got two of you now trying to intimidate him, plus you're crackling. I will say definitely advantage with a +2.
So is Yin gonna make the roll, or do I make the roll?
Either one of you can. You guys decide.
I will gladly do it.
Okay.
You said a +2 and advantage?
+2 and advantage.
Oh
Yep.
boy. Looks to be this guy. That is a 26. It's an 18 plus 4 plus 2.
Okay. He clearly is. In fact, you notice a pool of water starts to form below him, and it says, "Snails and Daggerford, snails and Daggerford."
Where in Daggerford can we find him?
He runs books on the river. It's there's a bar there. He's clearly kind of grasping for straws. Called the Iron Ignet. You can find him there.
And I poof out the spell.
Okay.
Alright, I think the guards can take it from here.
All right. So you.
Do
So
we
you're
do
gonna
that,
call.
or do we let Zir have another corpse to study?
We don't need this one alive, do we? I could use another subject.
Yeah, we don't need him alive. We can keep her alive.
It's everybody's alignments, jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm lawful evil. This guy broke into our house. I got a right to kill this guy instead. It's cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna put him in a chokehold and put him to sleep.
Are you just trying to knock him out, or are you trying to kill him?
Kill him.
All right. Is anybody gonna stop him?
Not me.
I walk down the stairs. I'm just throw my hands up, and it's.
I'm
All right.
chaotic. I'm chaotic neutral. So
I mean,
don't
I am
care.
too. I'm not evil. I'm not good, but
Well, you kill that guy. You choke him to death.
Interesting.
All right. Well, now you've got two bodies in your new house, and blood on the floor, and urine on the floor.
I say we intimidate her just a little bit more to see if we can get some more information out. Let her know that both of her companions are dead.
I studied your other friend's corpse. It was wonderful.
All right. So she's clearly intimidated. She knows that she heard the death gurgles upstairs. You don't even need to roll at this point. She's perfectly willing to talk at this point. What did you want to ask her?
Didn't her other lover curse our friend?
Yes. The Al, what's his name?
Agramund.
Agramund, yes. Yes,
Don't y'all
Agramund.
think we would like to know where he is too?
I think we need to find out about him. That's a good point.
Where is Agramund?
Yeah, we would like to know where he is so we can let Zir take care of business.
Agramund is currently running he's running a caravan from Daggerford up to Nightstone. The last I heard, some business for Snail.
Everything goes back to Snail.
What about this curse? Did you have anything to do with it?
No. God, I've already forgotten the guy's name. Agramund.
Agramon.
Yeah, Agramond cursed that he came across he found some Snail gave him some relic from Chult, and he used it to curse junk once he found out that I was sleeping with him, and it was supposed to wither and kill him, and his soul is not able to escape.
Well, it certainly withered something.
Does perception let you know if somebody's lying or not?
Insight.
Insight.
Insight. Yeah.
Insight. Who has good insight? Oh, I got wisdom on insight. Can I do an insight roll to see if she's telling the truth?
Yep.
Oh, no. That's
You
She's
have,
telling the truth
yeah,
100%. I have no idea what she's
definitely.
even saying.
yep. It's
like I had too much ale.
Yeah, there's definitely some Chult voodoo going on, and her other lover is apparently a master of it.
What is the crime and the punishment for breaking and entering in this town? Do we know?
It's a lawful town, so yeah, probably jail time for quite a bit. It wouldn't definitely, I mean, it wouldn't be execution, but yeah, they would
Get
probably
attacked
spend
us.
they would probably spend a good time in the jail. So
What do you guys want to do with her?
Are we going to let this one go?
Well, you know, our friend did love her, so
yeah, you guys actually kind of know her. I mean, you know of her. You've seen her around. You've seen her with him.
Say leave her to the guards. Let her
Alright,
think about what
so-
she's done.
We'll let you live for Brizant.
Yeah, so the one thing I want to do first is I want to ask her if she knows where the lab, since it's not here.
oh, she already answered that for us.
Yeah,
didn't,
she was looking for it too, and she couldn't find it.
Yeah, and I'm going to assume they filled me in. I want to ask her where else she thinks it might be, and you'll see why.
Okay, so she's pretty scared. She goes, I don't know. The only place we didn't search was the outhouse.
I want to ask her where the loot is. The loot that she saw the ruin.
So the insight check and what I'm trying to get out from this, Caleb, is she like completely convinced it's not here, right? Because I want to make sure she doesn't think it's still.
She thoroughly believes that she has checked every nook and cranny of this house. Yes.
Okay.
And what did you ask, Algrim?
The loot that had the rune on it. I want to know where that is.
It's buried with him.
So we gotta go grave digging then.
If he was just buried this afternoon, so
I'm not about to go digging in anybody's grave. Are you kidding?
Well,
Here's our-
we need the loot with the rune.
It's
With the
not
rune.
that dirty. I've done it before.
Fresh dirt. There'll be no grass.
It's nothing like a fresh corpse to study, even if he was a friend.
I was gonna say he's one of our friends, and you're just gonna desecrate his body and steal his prized possession.
He's dead. He won't care.
Well, his soul is trapped too. We gotta free his soul.
Yep.
She said that his soul wasn't able to travel on.
that is what she said. Whether that's true or not is, you know.
But evidently, my insight's stupid, so I believe what she said.
You completely, yeah, you believe that her lover is just this voodoo master, and yeah, that soul is gone and trapped forever, and he's cursed forever.
So I'm gonna say at this point we need to find somebody from the city and get her turned over.
Yeah, I mean, you can flag down a city guard.
And did we check the whole house? I know I went.
You kind of looked through the house. You didn't necessarily do a thorough search.
Yeah, I have something I want to look at, but it needs to be once she's gone and we get things cleared up with the two corpses.
All right, so you're able to flag down a couple of guards. Do you honestly like tell them what happened? Do you tell about the bodies, or you just turn her?
I think we do because she's going to like say all that anyway, right? Potentially as soon as she gets out of earshot. I think this is one where we just go with the truth, unless you guys disagree. I think we were fully within the law here.
Oh yeah, we were. They attacked us in our house.
They asked to see the deed of the house. Are you the owners?
We have the deed, yes.
Okay, so yeah, they kind of look around at the. They ask some questions about. Well, this one seems to have been choked to death after he was tied up.
Mere appearances.
Make a deception roll.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, seems reasonable. It seems
Wow.
like they're at the end of their shift. They're like, whatever. Yeah, fine. Self-defense. Yada da yada da. We'll bring her in. So they ask for your names. Do you give true names or fake names?
Fake names.
Fake.
All right. So yeah, you give them fake names. They take down your statement and they take her away. They ask if you guys need um, uh, like a corpse bringer or whatever, the guy who comes around with the cart.
Bring out your dead.
No, we will take them to the graveyard ourselves.
Hey, less paperwork for us.
I make no
and-
mention that I'd like to study them a little bit. Can keep that to myself.
All right. Well, thanks to my shitty rolls, you managed to easily get away with all. So they take her away.
We also now have an excuse to go to the graveyard. Built-in corpses.
All right. So you got two corpses, and yeah, like I said, you hadn't really searched the house.
Yeah, I want to move that rug back out of the way and try to find that spot I was looking at when we first came in before we got into the fight.
Okay. So yeah, you move the rug out of the way. You find the little false compartment. Make me a investigation when you get. It looks completely empty. There is nothing in this little cubby.
Can someone else make an investigation too?
Yeah, I'll let one more person go.
And
Or against somebody with high intelligence should do it.
well, yeah, and perhaps
Not me.
perhaps me standing there so miserably looking at it means somebody comes over and helps me. Or
I think it's a
I
floor,
don't have the
guys.
highest intelligence, but
It might be made out of wood. I'm not sure.
My
Invest-
intelligence is at 14.
it's better than mine.
Mine's 12.
Well, I'll try it.
And we're not
Okay.
stupid. Our group's not necessarily stupid. Just can't. We can't
I'll give
investigate
it-
in first ship.
I was gonna say I'll give it to you with advantage because you got all four of you kind of looking down in this hole. So after, as you all are just kind of staring in this hole for about 15 minutes, finally Algrim kind of reaches his hand down in there and feels around the empty space, and you under the dust underneath this thing, you find a thin wire that's pulled kind of taut.
I say we pull it.
Have you never
take
heard
a
of a
s- I-
tripwire?
I want to step back.
Okay, are you pulling the wire?
Not me.
I'll pull it.
Okay, so you pull it, and as you pull it, you kind of pull it up out of the hole. Near the stairwells that go up, you hear a small click, kind of like the cubby under the stairs area.
Someone check for Zero. Check for a door.
I'll investigate this stair. Door.
Okay, so as you walk over, there's really not enough space for like a Harry Potter like kind of cubby. But what you do notice about the stairs is that they seem to be a little bit higher, moved up. So I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, so if that's the stairwell, right? They kind of moved up like that. And there is a gap right there between the bottom of the stairs and the floor.
Secret stair.
Yeah, so can I reach into that gap and move the stairs at all?
Yep, you can actually just grab a hold of this like bottom part right there. And you can just pull it completely up like that. And when you do, you notice
More stairs!
another stairwell going down into the cellar type.
I assume it's dark down there. Does anybody
Yeah,
have
it's
a light
it's
spell?
completely dark. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lock up the front door, obviously, before we go downstairs. Pull
Okay.
curtains at this point if they weren't before. Don't want anybody seeing it.
Yep. Yep. All right. So you're going down the stairs.
Well, does anybody have a torch or a light spell, something, so we can see?
I can see just fine. I don't know about you.
Yes, and some people. Well, you're a dwarf.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
I'm a dwarf.
see.
I can see.
You got dark vision. You can see just fine.
I'm just a human. I can't see
Well,
shit.
Yeah,
then
I
I'll
have
go
a-
first.
I have a torch. We all should from whatever pack. I
Yeah,
chose
and there
for
are
this.
like
Yeah.
internal lanterns in this building. You can light a lantern off the wall or light a candle, or there's plenty of light sources in the house. So you don't need to like use your torch from your backpack kind of thing.
So yeah, I'll head down the stairs slowly.
Okay. So you go down the stairs and it is a dirt covered cellar. It's actually pretty small. It's probably I don't know, maybe like 15 feet by 15 feet. And down there, the only thing you find is there is a small writing desk with parchments and notes and stuff all over it. And sitting on the chair of the desk, there is a single piece of parchment, and you notice your names at the top of it. And then in the corner of the room, there is a huge, oversized club. Like nobody could possibly lift this thing. It is comically like Warcraft mace huge.
Oh, I'm gonna go try to lift. That's my. I won't be able to help myself.
All right, so you're gonna walk over to the big like tree trunk type mace and try to pick it up.
Yep.
All right, give me a strength check. I'm gonna say a disadvantage. Wow. So kind of like old Captain America, he does manage to lift this mace up off the ground enough to make everybody's eyebrows raise. You definitely can't really carry it around with you, but you do get it up off the ground.
I'm going to gently sit it back down and then try to make it seem as if that wasn't as incredibly difficult as what it just was, and walk over.
Okay, give yourself inspiration.
I say we read the note with all our names on it.
Okay. I've got a handout for you.
Is it one parchment with everybody's name?
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully that popped up.
Yep.
And I'm going to take just a minute to grab a drink. I'm back. I think I missed something.
I just read the secret family.
Secret family.
With a son.
So
Lord.
married, but was then having a 10-year running tryst with his. Ooh, it was a very.
Like I said, the eunuch thing is going to be like, well, you guys will have to figure that out then. Magic, I
Not a
guess.
boy.
I'm gonna say it was from the curse spell, right? That seems like a really a first target on a lover's quarrel.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, yeah. So it's recent eunuch. Recent eunuch.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense for a little wreck.
Yeah. Can we do a search of the room to see if there's anything else in?
Yeah, you can if you want. That's an investigation check.
Oh crap, we all suck at that.
Yeah, I'd say make a group roll for that one.
I've got a +3. And if you guys are assisting me, we may have an okay.
Yeah, I only have a +2, I think.
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, you actually do in one of the desk drawers in the back behind all of the papers and stuff that is shoved in there. You find a little vial of fluid with a stopper on it. Looks like a potion of some type. And actually, if you hold it kind of up to the light, it looks like sort of this silvery potion with like bits of like little rocks in it.
Who would have the art? Is that an Arcana check? If we would know that.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about potions is that yeah, like an Arcana check might be able to, if it's a standard like commercialized potion, would be able to tell you like if you find a red potion, it's probably a healing potion kind of thing. But sometimes potions are custom made, and you know this guy has been like researching and experimenting, so you could make an Arcana check. But the other thing about potions is like during a short rest or a long rest, what you can do is you can just kind of take a little like sip or just a smell or just a little like dab on your tongue and get a minor effect from it during a rest, and that tells you kind of a little bit of the properties. So like for example, if you found a potion of levitation, you just kind of dab some of it on your finger and dab it on your tongue. You might feel a little lightheaded or your body light for like a second. You're like, oh, this is probably a potion of levitation. It that's kind of my way of getting around having to use identify for potions.
All right, I have it listed on our little sheet for now, and we'll get it identified at a. So I guess next question is: do we want to take these two bodies out to the graveyard now and try to get our hands back on this loot? Tonight would be our best shot to do it. It's completely fresh grave. We've got bodies to go out there for good cover.
Can we rest for a little bit before we do such things? Because ow.
Yeah. Ow.
There's no better time to rob a grave than in the middle of the night.
I only
I was
need
gonna say it is it's about midnight now, and you're certainly in a position to make a rest. But yeah,
At worst, I need an hour.
Yeah, can we do a short rest and we can spend hit day?
you can certainly take a short rest. Yep.
Let's do that.
And you're in your own home, so there's no random encounter rules for this.
I'm gonna use both my hit dice. So 5 hit points back to me.
Okay.
I get 11 out of my. I'm up to 17.
I feel fine.
Ooh, but I get my spells back, which is the more important part.
Yeah, and during the short rest, you could also kind of test that potion if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have as a hill dwarf, I have resistant to poison, so I could dab a little bit and
Okay, so yeah, you taste a little bit of it, and you immediately feel like way strong, like really really strong, for just a couple of seconds. And the more you kind of kind of use logic and figure it out, you're pretty sure this is a potion of stone giant strength.
And
So what that does is when you quaff it, it'll change your strength to 23 for 1 hour.
Hey.
Yeah, it'll be something to hang on to.
You guys mind if I throw that in my bed?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You
No,
probably
no,
have to hang
yeah.
on to it.
I certainly have no use for it.
So it should be what, 1 o'clock now?
Yeah, it's about 1 in the morning.
I say we take the bodies out there and get our friends' loot.
Now, did anybody happen to read the thing that I posted about Waterdeep from that one webpage? It's okay if you didn't. I'm just curious because the reason I bring it up is because the cemetery in Waterdeep is known as it's something like
City of the Dead. It's City of the Dead.
City of the Dead.
Yeah.
And so it is, the guards that are posted around the cemetery aren't necessarily there to keep people out.
Yep.
It's to keep the undead in.
Yep.
Yeah, I read a book on Waterdeep before.
Well,
But
then
I
you're
also
more
have,
than I did. Of all the campaigns, like Forgotten Realms is my least familiar. So you guys probably know more about Forgotten Realms than I do. I know Dragonlance, I know Greyhawk, I know Ravenloft. Forgotten Realms, I am gonna sound like a noob DM.
I know a lot about this coast area because I've read quite a few novels based on this.
This is pretty much all I've run, so
Yeah, so
I know.
you'll
Realms
just
well.
have to bear with me and point out any mistakes that I make because that's just the way it is. But I do remember reading that. So
Well, I do have, chant divinity turn undead too. So if we need to, I can throw.
And I've got my
And-
spells back, so all is well there.
And it says the occasional restless creature, not swimming in a dead creature. Sounds like we'll be at the whim of a random encounter roll or two. We'll see.
Well, let me go back and take all the tokens off the graveyard.
I'm just saying, tonight is the only night that we have permission from the city guard to be carrying bodies into the graveyard to be buried, right?
Yeah, how late did you guys want to go tonight?
I
was gonna
thought
say, if-
11:30, wasn't it?
11:30 and
Yeah, so probably this will be the last encounter of the night if there is one. So okay. Well, let me grab your token.
And to save us some effort, we can just bury the two guys in the same grave that we dig our friend up in. Give him some company.
And there's your bodies. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah, you're actually walking through the streets carrying these bodies. You come up to the City of the Dead, and you actually do see some guards that just kind of nod at you. You hear them muttering to themselves, "Oh, they're going in there. Okay." So, and yeah, they walk. They let you just kind of walk right up.
This is actually perfect. That means there's nobody in here to see what we're doing.
All right, I will.
Just to let you know, I'm not digging.
Wouldn't want you break a nail.
All right, so as you enter the graveyard, I'm gonna do a random encounter roll.
We can just let Zir dig. He has experience in this.
That's right.
All right, all's quiet on the
Oh,
on the.
I'm dragging these suckers in.
Yeah, so I would say I can get to making a hole for the two guys, and everybody else work to getting down.
That's what I was saying. We could just dig up our friend and just throw these bodies in there with. We wouldn't have to dig 2 holes in.
It
That's
is
efficiency.
nighttime, so I made
Yeah.
it dark.
I will keep
Alright.
a watch. Somebody's
Let's
got
do
to keep
that.
an eye out. That and I can see pretty well.
All right, so you're going to start digging then, I guess.
Start digging.
Make me an athletics check. Then you can do it at advantage since you got 3 of you digging. And I'm gonna make so it's 16. I'm gonna make another random. Yeah, you guys are still good. So, all right. So you dig for probably 15 minutes or so. Thunk! You finally hit the wood coffin.
But this is all on the monk at this point. The monk's used to dead bodies.
So
Step
you're
aside,
bringing.
noobs.
So you're gonna put these guys in the same hole. Is that what you said?
Well, not
Well,
until we get the friend down. Look, check him out.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need to get the loot.
All right. So you're gonna open the coffin then.
Yes, I'll open it.
All right, so you open it. No vampires or anything bursts out at you. Your friend still looks like he was earlier this afternoon. Yeah, he's quite dead, but yeah, inside his suit jacket pocket, you do find a small loot with this strange looking rune carved into it. Oh shit.
Oh, no!
So as you're pulling the loot out of the out of the
He's gonna
suit
come to life.
jacket, you hear voices from around you. Do not disturb the dead. Do not disturb the dead. Grave robbers, thieves. And from that gravestone. From that gravestone, these incorporeal, like ghosts, just float up out of the ground. Of course, I had to roll 100. Of
Yep.
course. I think that's on. Wouldn't you say so?
Have we already put the bodies in there?
No, they're still lying out because you just pulled out. Your
Jesus. What the hell's with my initiative rolls? I know it's a +4, but jeez.
Should I roll again or just take that 16? I forgot.
Oh
to
yeah, I
take my
can
token
add you.
again.
I'll add you.
Sorry, I gotta remember that. And how close are the undead?
This is a grid map actually, so every square is 5 feet, so like they are 30 feet from Zir and 20 feet from Yen. And Yen is up.
All right, well, I'm going to take my full movement and go into the corner here. And I am going to cast Eldritch Blast on that one.
All right.
God damn it, that's a 15 to hit.
15. That hits.
Okay. 5 points of damage. It's force damage.
All right. Yep. So your beam comes flying out.
I rolled a 1 on that damage roll.
Beam comes flying out, hits it. It appears to hurt it and does damage. Ah! Kill the witch. Arzek. Algrim.
I want to cast Channel Divinity and turn undead.
Okay. So that is, I
30
think you
feet.
just, yep. It, that, okay, so you would have to step up a little closer to get to this guy. So if you were to be right in the square in front of you, it would hit that one. You wouldn't be able to get this one. If you were to go right here, that would hit there. That if you go
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
there would
square
work.
that I'm at,
Yep.
that would work.
All right, now I'll move to that square and cast it.
Okay, so that is. Let me look at your character sheet quick. It's a DC. You don't have it on here.
I was showing that it says wisdom on the D&D Beyond. It says wisdom saving throw DC 4.
14. Okay. So this one up here fails it, and the one to the south fails it.
Nice.
All right, so they are turned. Ah, priests! Now it burns, it burns. So on their turn, so they're not going to come anywhere near you, and as long as they're turned, they, are basically just going to flee. But I'll let Zir go anyways. What do you want to do, Zir? Now, if you do hit them, then they become unturned.
I'll focus on the one that's hit.
Or couldn't we put the bodies in and run?
I think they're turned for up to a minute, so you got 10 rounds.
Not a lot of time, but
Oh no, I want to try to punch one.
Well, if you do attack the one that Jennifer already attacked.
Yeah, that's the top one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side, we'll have 10 rounds to just deal with one without the other one hitting on us, right?
Punch. I'm gonna try to attempt
That's
to punch a ghost or a wraith.
Okay. Go ahead. 9 doesn't hit,
And my bonus attack.
so you haven't hit it yet. All right, so 17 does hit, and you're just punching it.
Yeah, I mean it's what I got. My fists are my weapons.
Are they magical yet?
Ooh, I would.
I don't think that happens to monk until like 5th level.
Yeah, I don't think that.
All right, so you punch at it, and you do feel a little resistance with your punch, and you do think you did a little bit of damage, but definitely not 8. You definitely feel like they are resistant to regular old bludgeoning damage. But with that, you draw its attention and its ire once again, and it's no longer turned, and it's hurt, but yeah, now it screams in your face. Ah! Is that it?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm out of stuff.
All right, so then this one just flees, but this one attacks Zir then.
Here comes the 20 rolls.
nope.
You're lucky it only gets one attack. All right, Maraba.
I can't get to advantage. I can only go 30 feet. So.
Okay.
Swinging.
Wow.
The 19 hits and the 14 hits. So again, that's not magical, so you're doing half damage. So 6 and 3, so you did 9 damage to.
Then I'm going to go on ahead and action surge and swing it.
Okay.
Miss.
Yep, and you miss. All right, Yennefer.
Well, I'm gonna keep plugging away at that one with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Nope. That's an 8.
All right. Arzek.
I don't have Toll the Dead on my roll 20 sheet. I want to cast that. It's up to 60 feet away. It's Wisdom 14. It's 1d8. How do I?
Oh, you can just tell me that. I need to make a wisdom saving throw.
It's a D12 because it's taken damage.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Sorry, it took damage, so it is more.
All right. So I rolled an 11 on my wisdom, so it sounds like it failed. And what kind of damage is it?
It says 1d8.
It's necrotic.
It's necrotic. Okay. All right. So you could
Well, it's-
roll.
Isn't it? Well, it's more because he's already damaged.
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm about to say here, though, so normally you would roll a 1d12 here, and you certainly can. But once you cast it and you hit them with it, you realize that these undead creatures are immune to necrotic damage, and so you definitely hit it, but it takes no damage at all. So chalk it up as a learning experience. It's kind of like, nope, not with that one, boys. So unfortunately, yeah, that's your turn. So, but the rest of you learn that they are immune to necrotic. Zir.
I can try to punch it again. At least give advantage. And I'm gonna punch it.
But otherwise, no, that's a good spell. That tool.
I love Toll the Dead. It's not good on that one.
All right, you hit 25 for 2 bludgeoning damage.
And I'll punch again.
Yep, it's still up. 21 for 8 for 4, and yes, as you punch, you kind of swing through it and almost hit Maraba because as you push your way through its form, it dissipates and says, "No, grave robbers will be punished."
I punched a ghost to death.
All right, so then this specter just continues to flee. Maraba.
Do we want to see how much we can get done in 8 rounds here?
Well, okay. It's pretty far away. I mean, it moved 60 feet from like here, and then it moved another 60 feet. It's 120 feet. Like it's 60 feet off the map almost at this point.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say we go start quickly getting bodies in the hole and recovering.
Okay.
That's what my turn is if we're still going by combat.
No, I think I can take you guys out of because that specter. If you guys aren't going to pursue it, it's just going to continue to flee at 60 feet.
It'll take too
around.
long to get back.
Yeah, it'll take 8. It's going to flee for 8 rounds, and then it's going to take at least 8 rounds to get back. So yeah. So you got probably 5 minutes to do whatever you're going to do here, if it even comes back.
I'm telling Yennefer she's helping this time.
Says you.
All right. So yes, you grab the loot out of Brajunks or Brajanks or whatever his name is, and so you get that, and you've got his body. I don't even know if I have like a halfling or something or whatever. He was a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna put a token on the board. You pull him out. What do you want to do with these guys?
I think the plan is to put him back in his coffin. I don't think we even took him out of his coffin. We just got.
Oh,
the loot.
okay.
We put the lid back on. We put these guys on top. Then we
Oh, okay. So you don't have to put as much dirt on top.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you throw their bodies on there, and instead of being 6 feet down, you only need to fill about 3 feet of dirt now. So there's a little extra dirt pile here from what was before. But yeah, you do manage to pull out the flute and bury the bodies and avoid being sucked to death by specters in the process. So,
Then we get out of here.
all right, sounds good. So, yeah, where do you go back to your house? Do you like go to a tavern for the night? What do you do?
I would advise we all just go back to the house and unpack bedrolls there and sleep. Everybody else is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
That's fine.
All right. Well, it's about 10 to, so I say that's probably a good stopping point. Next time, I assume you're going to travel to Nightstone. Is that the case?
Yeah,
Pretty,
I would
pretty
think
sure.
so.
Yep.
All right. Well, good thing for Darbius is that you guys didn't hit the beginning of the adventure. You guys went off on enough side treks that when he joins us next time, that will actually be the actual start of the module going to Nightstone. So, yeah, session 0.5 is done, and we will start officially with session 1 next time. So, I'm keeping track of XP a little bit, but I'm also kind of doing milestones. I don't think you would have had enough to gone up to level 3 after just this little outing. So you're just stay at level 2 for next time. So
Yeah, that's fine.
And we are already keeping up with last time. When you do not expect us to RP, we spend an entire evening RPing. And when you will want us to, we will just chop off their heads and move on to the next new shiny on the quest map.
yeah, I had all of Nightstone prepped, and I'm like, oh, I hope they don't, because there's like something after that. I'm like, I hope they don't get this far, and you guys didn't even get the Nightstone.
I didn't even touch it. Stopped in a bar to have a brawl.
I didn't know how long that was going to take. That was me kind of trying something new out that I found. It was this thing on RPG Guild called Tavern Brawl thing, and I didn't know if it didn't seem to go any faster than a normal fight. So I don't know. It was just more descriptive, I guess.
Well,
Add some flavor.
Yeah,
it was
something new.
it was a great way to have a fight without like murdering half the town like we did last campaign every time we
Yeah.
walked into a bar.
So, yeah, that's kind of campaign format, Algrim. We may not like come to a logical conclusion. It's kind of like a TV series. Like this is the end of the episode, and so sometimes you'll have a satisfying conclusion. Other times we just end on a cliff note and or cliffhanger, and that's where we're at. Next time we'll pick it up right where we're at. So,
Yep.
so I say decent first session, and hope you guys had fun. I had improv half of that. I actually had the bar fight planned, but for the other bar that you guys went into to meet the Nora. And so when you guys went into that second bar, I'm like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to throw the bar fight in this scenario.
Probably better off being another one anyways.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do 2 bar fights. So I'm like, that's fine. So it all worked out.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, later, fellas.
All right. Yeah. So are we, now I don't remember, were we doing this every week or every other week?
Every other.
Yeah, every other
Okay.
night.
So the next session is, if I'm looking at, it'll be February 8th.
8th,
Then,
yep.
Correct?
Yep. Yeah, because I'm
Alright.
still running another group every other week from that. So, but I'm not going to start those again until I recover from surgery. So,
And next time, hopefully, I'll have the GoXLR set up so I can do